Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 4. Annual 1. There was once a time when the one who could soar overhead chose to walk among us. A time when one man was a symbol of hope. But then it all changed. His world came crashing down. And once it fell, something twisted stood in his place. No longer a symbol of hope, but a symbol of fear, of control. As the old saying goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a tyrannical, despotic ass. In this Injustice timeline, civilians aren't all too pleased with Superman's authoritative regime. So on a casual business day, a group calling themselves the Opatrophs orchestrate a mission to bring down the symbol of Superman's iron-fisted control. While being successful in their pursuit of kabooming Superman's statue, the Opatrophs are quickly apprehended by Flash and Superman. But then, Superman receives urgent information from Cyborg about an unaccounted member of the Opatrophs that was also present on site. As the two supes scan the area for the missing member, a bench suddenly changes its form in hopes of saving the group. Unfortunately, his efforts are all in vain as Flash quickly connects the dots. "Superman! Our guy is a talking bench!" Hearing the insulting nickname, the bench transforms into a menacing monster and introduces himself as the typical big, bad, and evil. Just as the words leave his mouth, Superman soars through the air and punches the living daylights out of Mr. Your Worst Nightmare Made Real. "Oh man, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me!" "I know you, don't I?" Realizing the boy is the one called Luke McDonough, the supes apprehend Luke to take him to the trench, an underwater prison where the Superman regime has been storing all of its superpowered criminals. Surprisingly enough, the arrival of Luke McDonough is only met with concern and apprehension as the supes find themselves contemplating their next move. Who or what could cause such anxiety among the most formidable superheroes? With tension thick in the air, Wonder Woman questions Superman's decision to detain this shape-shifting criminal. As Superman affirms his decision to lead by example and to bend at no one's will, Wonder Woman tells Cyborg and Sinestro to keep this mysterious him in their sights at all times. "Keep him targeted. If he tries anything, don't hold back." This is ridiculous. But Wonder Woman quickly cuts off Sinestro and firmly tells him that the person they are about to face is more capable, more dangerous than he can possibly apprehend. He's here. Able to morph into anything, he can bounce, he can stretch, and no weapon is as sharp as his wit. He is DC's version of Luffy from One Piece and is called Patrick O'Brien, or better yet, Plastic Man, the father of, you guessed it, Luke. With a zesty smile, Patrick confidently marches in. "I like what you've done with the place. Seriously, I don't know what your interior decorator is, but they absolutely nailed that overwhelming, crushing feeling of oppression. Haha. Kudos." "What do you want, Plastic Man?" As Wonder Woman raises the question, Patrick tells his audience to stop pretending like they don't know what he's here for. "We can't release your son." "Of course you can. What's the point of being a despot if you can't abuse your powers for your friends? All the best dictatorships have a healthy sprinkling of nepotism." Patrick flashes his pearly whites and extends his hand out for a high five. However, not being a jokester himself, Superman sternly eyes Patrick. During all the eyeballing, Diana rushes to Clark's honor and tells Patrick, "Superman is no despot. He's literally sitting on a throne. It's a chair." "That's a very big chair. Compensating for something?" Deciding to give the League a reality check, Patrick asks the supes if they still think they're the good guys. "Even if you won't look in the mirror, at least take a look at your teammate, Sinestro. He has an actual bad guy mustache. He's not even trying to hide it. I bet he twirls it every time he thinks no one's watching and laughs manically." Unfortunately for Patrick, his roast session only falls on deaf ears as Sinestro tells him, "We've heard enough, Plastic Man. You won't change our minds." "What the hell's wrong with you? Considering all this started with the death of your kid, I figured you'd have a bit more empathy for him." That's when Superman has enough of Patrick's tantrum and decides to take matters into his own fists. But right in the moment of climax, Flash stops Superman and tells Patrick that it's time to go. While taking a walk with Patrick, Barry Allen tells him that Superman's in a bad place. A bad place? Have you seen what he's wearing? You preferred when he wore the underwear? I preferred when he wore a smile. As the two reach an alleyway, Plastic Man seizes his chance and suffocates Flash until he loses consciousness. Then, after shape-shifting into Flash, Plastic Man cleverly finds Victor Stone. Plastic Man's going after his son! As expected, Cyborg falls right into his trap and states that Plastic Man cannot survive the pressures of the deepest part of the ocean. Still, to ease his colleague's tension, Cyborg shows him the tight security of the trench. After successfully acquiring information on the trench, Patrick meticulously steals some Green Lantern rings. With his plan set in motion, Plastic Man hitches a ride to the middle of the ocean and dives to rescue his son. I've hidden from responsibility for most of my life, from those I've wronged, from those who needed me. I've hit rock bottom so many times, but I've always found new and innovative ways to sink even lower. I was a criminal, a disappointment, and something to be ashamed of, to keep hidden, and then I changed. At least, I thought I changed. I was in the Justice League. Being in the Justice League, saving the planet, I thought I was enough, but it's just another excuse for never being there. As Patrick reflects on his past, he asserts, I'm through not being there. I've never made it to your games, Luke, but I'm coming to the bottom of the world to break you out of the most secure facility ever constructed. After infiltrating into the prison, Plastic Man shapeshifts into a prison guard and makes his way into the mess hall. Overseeing the criminals, Patrick thinks to himself, this right here is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Let's gather the most unstable people on Earth and put them all in a giant bubble under the most extreme pressures on the planet. After an internal conversation with himself, Patrick chooses his pawn, an inmate. Don't react. I'm not who you think I am. I'm a friend. I'll get all of you out of here, but I need information. Oh, I'm listening. Duke McConaughey. He's a shapeshifter. He was just brought in. Is he here? He'll be in a sealed cell in the basement. Okay, I'm going to go get him, then I'm coming back to free you. But I need something else from you. Bane. What? I don't know what to properly insult your mother in your language, so... Once a full-fledged fight breaks down amongst the inmates, Plastic Man uses the distraction to move on to the next part of his plan. But as he proceeds to the basement, he hears a voice addressing him. That's enough. What the hell? Plastic Man, I was told to look out for you. I don't know how you got in, but this prison break ends here. In response, Plastic Man flashes one of his cool dude smirk and candidly says, Sure it does. The door is sealed. There's nothing you could do. The lock is impenetrable, and the guards don't have access to the keys. Uh-huh. And then Plastic Man uses his power to transform his hand into the key. Hey, look, I found the key. As the gate to every cell opens up, Luke adjusts his eyes to the presence before him. Dad? Once the alarm's set to blare, Plastic Man tells his son, That's the alarm. Superman and his league of brainwashed sycophants will be coming. We have to go, now! But as they're about to make their exit, Patrick recalls his promise to Kilowog, the inmate. He tells Luke to hang on. You should have this. What's this? It's our way out of here. In the meantime, Superman and his supes are informed about the commotion in the trench. Quick on their feet, they instantly make their way over to the prison. As for Patrick and Luke, they return to the mess with the intention of stopping Kilowog and the whole fight when... Gas? No, that's not gas. That's the warden. Seeing Metamorpho on the site, Patrick tries to greet him, but in return, Rex tells him that he's glad to see him, as now they won't go through the trouble of bringing him to the trench. And then their conversations cut short as Superman and company arrive on the scene. Well, it was nice of you to visit, Dad. Luke turns into a Metamorpho and asks, Should I just head on back to my cell, or... But before Luke can walk to his confinement, Plastic Man calls out to Kilowog. Catch! Lantern successfully retrieves their rings, but as the scene unfolds, Sinestro tries to neutralize the situation by attacking Kilowog. While he manages to kill the alien, he also ends up creating a huge hole in the dome. Kilowog! The dome! We have this! No! What? With the roof seconds away from collapsing, Plastic Man uses his abilities to hold the shattered glass roof and tells the crowd, This roof is moments away from collapsing and killing almost everyone in here. Superman can't stop that. They can't come in here without everyone dying. That's a good thing. What the hell are you talking about? We need the glass. As Plastic Man instructs his son to use the Mirror Master's belt he gave him, Luke obediently follows the orders, and as a result, a portal opens up before them. Now stretch out, Luke. Upon receiving his father's instructions, Luke grabs the inmates and directs them towards the portal. But time is running out as the water menacingly tries to push through the already shattered roof. During this difficult moment, Plastic Man shoulders the burden of making sure everyone is out of harm's way. Dad! Go! Despite his father's insistence to leave him behind, Luke refuses and extends out his neck to talk some sense to him. Dad, come on! I can't move, Luke. Of course you can! Just as the dome's about to crash and burn before them, the father and son decide to have a heart-to-heart. After all, what better time to fix your daddy issue when death is right in front of you, eh? You know what I think? I think you like drama. I think some screwed up part of you would actually find it easier to sacrifice yourself here rather than escape and hang out with me. That's actually pretty insightful. Abandoning his selfless act, Patrick joins his son and manages to make a hairbreadth escape. But Plastic Man's worries are far from over, as he now faces a crowd of supervillains. In a desperate attempt, he addresses the crowd of villains and tells them to focus their energy on Superman's tyranny. Concluding his speech, Plastic Man tells his son, "Look, if you really want, I guess we could try to stand up to Superman." But Luke has a better as he responds back with, "Or, we could just hide until more qualified people bring him down." That's my boy.